Hello, people of YouTube. It's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news stream for the 8th of January 2022, the second that I'm doing this year. And we're going to be talking about it in a moment, but this is the 1 year anniversary of me doing these weekly DCS news streams, which is very exciting indeed. Welcome Norman and Rusty. Hello, people of the VAF. Welcome Mark S, welcome Tog, welcome Storm Kambari, and welcome Byron. Wow, yeah, that was like that's going to be a reference. I think what I might do in the future is I might actually break it up into little sections using those bands on the play bar. I think that might be the way to go. But yeah, that's it's a pretty meaty one. For next week, I'm going to cover the azimuth and elevation radar page, which is, well, you know, it's pretty complex and it's quite unusual. It's quite an unusual kind of view of the radar. It's an unusual way to display radar information, but quite unique to the Hornet and quite useful, especially in an intercept. Yeah, welcome Paul and welcome Fair. So I think it's only fair that without further ado we jump straight into the DCS news stream and I bring on board the one and only the dotChuckles. Hello.
Hello! Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. And actually, I just realised that I've made a grave mistake.
What's that?
Give me 5 seconds and I'll be right back.
Oh, yes! Yes. We have a little celebratory thing that he's forgotten and he's going to have to go and get. Because I have mine sitting here. Yes, there we go. Because every anniversary needs champagne. So
total lack of preparation on my part. I didn't have my champagne at the ready. Let's see if we can do some ASMR here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice. Oh, I dropped something. There we go. Okay, right. So, welcome, Rel.
Talk saying I'm no longer hungover. Yeah, I'm about to be.
Yes, indeed. I have a glass. I have a bottle. Yeah. My ceiling is concrete, so I think I'm in no danger of damaging it.
Yeah.
Are we going to try and synchronize here, dotChuckles?
Well, we could try. Yeah. It is after all our anniversary. I have a nice champagne flute for the occasion. So
I'm a little bit scared because, of course, I'm sitting at my PC with a live explosive device. I don't know what's going to happen. So, shall we give it a go?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, 3, 2,
1. Ooh!
There we go. I didn't get any on myself. It worked. Yeah. I got some wrapping, but apart from that, we're good.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Very uncouth. I've got the bottle on the rim, but you know. Oh.
Oh my! I don't even have a champagne flute. I'm doing it old school. So, I want to take this opportunity to say to everybody watching right now, and those who are watching in the future, and those who have watched previous streams in the past, thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Here's to all of you. Thank you for a fun year.
Yes, it has been fun. Cheers. Oh.
And that's the DCS news stream for today, because there's nothing else. No. We're just going to have our champagne.
Oh, that is it's actually quite a nice champagne. It wasn't too expensive, so I wasn't holding out for much. See, this is I'm actually a little bit of a secret. Well, I'm a martini fiend, but I'm also a champagne fiend. So
mine is real French, apparently. Nicolas Bro, French people can correct me on pronunciation there.
Mine's Louis Verté.
Oh wow!
Which is it's M&S, but it's actually all right for like a cheap supermarket champagne.
I've done even more.
It's not Cristal or Dom Perignon, but it'll do.
I have baked gingerbread biscuits.
Ooh.
And I never bake. I can barely cook. And they turned out okay. So there you go. I have biscuits and I have champagne.
Nice.
So, yes.
I just have champagne. Yeah. Oh, that's actually really nice. That's quite buttery. It's
delicious. So yeah, now we're going to start like reviewing champagne on the stream. That's our next thing.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we do have some news, though.
We have a little bit. I wanted to quickly call back, though, to the beginning. We started this news stream way before we started this news stream.
Yes, we did.
I was waiting for the recognition there.
Yeah, we did a wee experiment.
We did.
Which went really well, and then we sort of sat on it because we did basically exactly this format.
Pretty much.
We were even front paged on Stormbirds with it, and
we were.
Yeah, we were. Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got front paged on Stormbirds.
That was in 2016, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus.
That's when we did that. So yeah, a concept that we had already tried out, reborn in 2021. And now looking to continue it into 2022.
Yeah,
it's been going rather well, and it's thanks to all you wonderful people who still watch us. I don't know why you do, but I'm glad you do.
Well, I mean, I think, I was thinking about this because I know I knew we were going to sort of look back on the DCS news and how it's come, and I think the format that we've settled on works really well. Being a live format, we are effectively live breaking news, and we're one of the few that do it. I think there's a couple other people that touch on DCS in like a live format that I know about, but they also sort of do a lot of stuff. I think, and I'm prepared to be corrected, and apologies if I'm missing anybody and all that kind of stuff, but I think we're the only people that are exclusively DCS live news, certainly in a weekly format.
For live, yes, because there are some other YouTube channels that I watch for my DCS news content. I want to give a little shout out to Prickly Hedgehog, who I think
he's very good.
He's very good. I like his stuff. He's pre-recorded, so he's a bit more professional than perhaps my delivery is, but that's fine. That's okay. There's room for all of us here. And who else? There's not really that many people who do a news program for DCS at all, let alone something live like this.
Yeah. I mean, there are quite a few people who sort of cover the latest in DCS, but it is all pre-recorded. Like, I would say we're the only kind of magazine show, because I mean, I wouldn't say we're strictly journalism. I think we're, what would be considered commentary.
Yeah, I'm not qualified to be a journalist. No, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, we're commentary. And I think it works because, like, particularly with us sort of dedicating a Saturday to do it, with the way the DCS news cycle works, we're very early in the news cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're very early in the news cycle, so we tend to pick up things, as it's happening. I mean, there's been a couple of times where we've had stuff drop whilst we're on air and we've commented on it.
That's exactly true, yeah. So sometimes that is the great thing, the interaction with chat, because if we say something that's incorrect, 9 times out of 10 within the minute, chat has already corrected us, we've already retracted what we said and issued the correct statement.
Well, I mean, Channel Right has just made the point in chat, funnily enough, that no one does live stuff. It's great to interact and talk all things DCS. Absolutely agree, and it's why we enjoy doing this, because whilst we tend to keep it to an hour, sometimes we go over, and when we do, it's good fun because it's people,
it's
just talking about
with
interaction, talking about things, things that we love, and the sort of getting. I mean, I'm an opinionated sod. And I What, your face? I'm an opinionated sod, and I like to think I know everything, and I don't. Like, never trust what I say.
Nobody's flawless except me.
9 times out of 10, you're incorrect. Lol, just kidding.
Oh.
You. Yeah, but it's true. No, I mean,
chat noising you up.
I know. God love them. No, I would say I was correct more than I'm wrong. But the thing is that, I'm quite happy to openly admit that I'm often wrong.
And the important thing is trying to find the truth. So making a wrong statement and sticking to it, dumb. Making a wrong statement, finding the truth, and updating that statement, smart. That's what we do.
And I think and I think we do that well and we can do it because of the live format.
Yes.
Like, I think if we pre-recorded this, it wouldn't work, because we'd always make mistakes, and that's fine. And in a pre-recorded thing, I mean, trying to correct a mistake is really difficult. I mean, you can do it in the comments, but I mean, the YouTube comments is a cesspool, so why would you do that? So I think, the way we do this works really well.
It's good fun, and I intend to keep doing it. And I want to encourage more people to watch, more people to interact. You ask us questions, make comments. That's really what makes this show work. It's not just me and dotChuckles. It is also you, the viewer, that makes this fun and makes it worthwhile doing. So and long may DCS continue. Otherwise, we'll have to find something else to talk about. And and I think things have been going rather well. I think Eagle have been doing okay. I'm continuing my series on the Hornet, and the depth of simulation in the Hornet is staggering. I was just covering the radar today, and it's wonderfully detailed, really, really good. And it's not even finished yet. There's more stuff to come. And then you look at the F-16 and all the wonderful stuff that's coming to the F-16, which will make it a lot of fun to play with. I was watching a video recently of somebody doing a strike mission, and they were using the air-to-ground helmet-mounted sight. They were queuing Mavericks. They were dodging incoming surface-to-air missiles. As they're turning their head off bore sight, they've still got all the symbology in the helmet-mounted sight. And it's just staggering. And all the tones coming from the RWR, toggling the jammer on, automatic chaff and flare dispensing complete with the voice messages. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. Yeah.
Chat saying, Stevie B, champagne review channel. I totally do that. That would be great.
I don't normally drink champagne, so I don't have much to compare it to. But this one is fine. It's a nice Nicolas Brobergerie champagne. Actually comes from Spain, not Spain, France. That other place in Europe.
Okay, little like jokingly champagne review channel. Top champagne tip. If you want a good champagne, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, if you're in the UK, get yourself to Sainsbury's and go buy yourself a bottle of Nicolas Foyat. It'll set you back about 22 quid. So for champagne, it's pretty cheap, but it is lovely. It is very nice. It punches well above its weight in its price category. I would say normally for a champagne that is that nicely balanced, it's crisp, not too dry though, has some nice sweet notes, a little bit buttery. You'll pay £22 for it. But to get champagne like that, normally you'd be spending like up above £30-40. So there you go. That is the one actual champagne review thing that we're going to do, which is Nicolas Foyat. It's very good.
We are delivering value for money today. Yes. Whiskey tasting, says Storm Kimbari. That is something that we're both a bit more qualified to do.
Yeah, whiskey tasting. Yeah.
Welcome, Irish Pat, and welcome, Cartoba. I guess perhaps we could talk about the news, although there is only one news item.
Yeah, because I mean it is New Year. People have been on holiday. Everybody is taking well-earned breaks, so we cannot fault the DCS world for basically doing nothing for the last week. I think they've earned their time off.
Yes, exactly. So Europe is Scotland, France, and Spain. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh dear. So yeah, there was, of course, this week no DCS newsletter as per the previous week. I don't know when they're back, maybe in another week or two, I'm not sure. And there was also no patch this week, unsurprisingly. I doubt anybody's working at Eagle Dynamics right now.
I doubt it. Yeah.
We did have one article from Stormbirds here. I'll bring it up, and it's all about Magnitude 3 doing their update for the new year, talking about the F4U, the Essex carrier, and the F8. So pretty cool. They one of the main things that I took from this was that they're now just calling themselves Magnitude 3 because, as Stormbirds mentions right at the top, naming confusion no more. Across their different social media platforms and websites and things like that, they were sort of interchanging the name Leatherneck and Magnitude 3, and it depended where you were looking.
I think I think I have a theory on that. And I think it's that, like, we got to know who Leatherneck was with the MiG-21, which was a good release and a good module. And then, of course, there was the split. And then, we had, heat blur falling out of all that. And I wonder if they're a little bit worried about losing their kind of cachet, their brand, So like they've had to change their name for kind of business legal reasons, whatever. And they're like, so yeah, we're Magnitude, but by the way, we were Leatherneck,
Yeah.
And they mention it in every time, and so I think like they've actually probably done themselves a disservice by not just embracing their new brand and just going, look, we're Magnitude 3, because now we have this confusion, and they're coming around now to sort of putting it right, which is fine. But like, yeah, I think that's probably what was behind it, is that they were a bit loathed to lose the fact that we put out the MiG-21.
Well, exactly, and they were probably at least partially involved in the Viggen, I would expect. Some part of the team, but yeah, I don't know if any of the Viggen development bled over into Leatherneck days. What was the deal with the Leatherneck name anyway? Why were they not able to use it anymore? Because I don't know.
I don't know. I thought there was a reason that they had to change it.
That was my understanding as well, but I never. I don't recall what that reason was. Maybe there's already a company called Leatherneck somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. This is exactly what we were talking about. Why chat is great. Hero or Hyro, who works for M3, told me, that's Cartoba who's saying this, it was just that they didn't have time to get a new website, so decided to put up with the mixed branding. Oh dear.
When you're a small team, these things happen.
Yeah, this is very much a small team problem. Yeah. If you're a small team, you can't take care of your branding effectively. It's a shame because they have created quite a bit of confusion over to who they are. Because there are a lot of people that think Magnitude 3 are a totally different company and don't realize that they have, the backstory of Leatherneck. But then there's a lot of people who are, it gets confusing. Yeah.
They are the Russia to Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And it has been pointed out that Russian Christmas was apparently today or yesterday or something like that.
It was on the 6th.
So, it was on the 6th, yeah.
I think it was on the 6th. Yeah, been kind of quiet with Wag Daddy vids too. Well, I'm pretty sure Wags is on vacation. I can't imagine he's making videos right now. Unlike us crazy fools making videos the whole way through.
Who made a Christmas? We did a Christmas Day video.
Yes, we did.
And a New Year's Day
because we are silly.
Yeah, one was more hungover than the other.
Yes, that's right. I was fine. I was fine somehow. I don't know.
I was not. It was bad times. But yes, Magnitude 3 F4 update.
Yes.
Gotta say, liking the work on the cockpits.
Yes, indeed. It is looking very good. And, generally speaking, we're not massively interested in the World War II stuff. But, you can't argue that detail. Really. And the shine and the glass effects and the transparency, it's all on point. This is exactly the level of goodness that we've been seeing from people like Razbam and Heatblur, I would say.
Yeah. It's it's looking good. I mean, there's definitely some PBR going on there.
Yes.
Like the wear patterns are nice and tell a story. Rather than just being random scratches all over the place, which some developers have been guilty of. The placement of the wear in the cockpit, looks like it should be where it should be. So generally, good job on that texturing.
And that gun sight looks to me to be the same symbology, at least, as is used on the A4. That looks just like the A4 gun sight, I think.
I mean, that symbology goes back a long way. I mean, and some aircraft still in service, when you turn it on to standby, you get that symbology, with the mill divisions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's the one. This will be the first Fleet Air Arm aircraft in DCS, says Carr. It does look very pretty. It does look very pretty. I think nobody can argue that this is not looking really, really nice. And then, of course, we've got some shots of the Essex here as well, which is looking very nice too.
Yeah, and there was some internal stuff in the Essex as well.
Yeah, we can
later down in the article.
Here.
Yeah.
Boop. Here we go. Here's an F4 doing a flyby, and then it looks really good. I'm still wondering, for both the Supercarrier and the Forrestal, we were told that the hangars were going to be fully modelled and at some point
accessible.
They would be accessible. But there's no update on that. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah.
But looking very, very nice.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Oh, wow. Damaged. Yeah.
Damaged Essex.
Very interesting. And of course, a wooden flight deck being a World War II carrier. Nice. Looking very, very good. So we still, of course, don't know when these things are coming out. But nonetheless, it looks like they're definitely making pretty cool progress. And also, they were saying that there's some items that still need work. The gun sight, armoured glass, bomb director, and map holder. But they're apparently in the final stretch. They spent the last 10 months rebuilding the cockpit. And that's the cockpit is now very close to being finished, which is why they're saying that they're nearly ready for early access. So that's cool.
And they've also been talking about the F8. We can talk about this as well. The radio glide bomb.
Yeah. This is apparently the very first fully autonomous guided weapon ever used.
I wonder if it used pigeons.
Did it use pigeons? Well, it supposedly uses a radar, which is pretty clever.
I wonder if chat knows that story
about the pigeons.
I'm
not sure that I know that story.
So, in the early development of smart weaponry in World War II, they trained pigeons to peck on ships, on pictures of ships.
Oh yes.
So they would tap, 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 and then they would get food if they tapped on a picture of a ship. And what they then did was they effectively put a glass panel and a nose cone of a bomb, not too dissimilar to that. And it had a square at the top and a square at the bottom, a square at the left, and a square at the right. So the pigeon would tap on the glass and slowly steer the bomb towards the ship. Needless to say, the pigeon was not provided with an ejection mechanism. Poor pigeon.
It did not end well for the pigeon.
Yes, sorry, carry on. Side about pigeon-guided bombs.
So, we have the Bat Bomb, which is going to be coming for the Corsair. The Essex update, Magnitude 3 are recreating the USS Intrepid, an Essex-class carrier, as a companion for the F4U. Special attention has been given to the deck island with all of the carrier's defensive equipment and radios and sensors to make sure that it is a historically accurate recreation. It will have a damage model.
Is this intended to be a free update? That's what I'm not sure. The carrier, the Essex carrier.
Yeah. As a companion to the F4U.
Yeah. That you could squeeze quite a lot of doubt through that phrasing, can't you?
Yeah. That's a good question. The thing is, currently we don't really have any World War II assets that are freely included with DCS World. They're all either part of aircraft modules or they're part of the World War II asset pack. So unless they're planning to give it away to Eagle and put it in the asset pack, I can only assume it's included as part of the F4 package. That would be my assumption. Or
it's a paid product.
That would be unusual. I don't know of anyone doing that yet, but who knows? DCS is a platform; people can sell third-party stuff, so it's possible.
Yeah.
So yes, it'll have a damage model, working elevators, and an internal hangar bay when it launches. And then, sadly, no pictures, but we have the F8 Crusader. The only real news is that the team has been able to gain access to an F8 in San Diego, and that a company was commissioned to take laser scans of the cockpit to ensure that the cockpit model they build has the exact dimensions and details as the real one.
Yeah, that's available. Those pictures are available on Magnitude 3's website. There we go.
Right, let's see.
It's down the bottom, I think. There you go. So we've got some 3D scans of the cockpit.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
So it's your typical LiDAR scanning, getting ready for retopo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they talk about the other updates. So, there are minor bug fixes coming for the MiG-21 and Kristen Eagle 2. And fixes coming next are eliminating of that very annoying screeching noise you may be hearing on the inside of the MiG-21 cockpit. I heard that there's a kind of high-pitched engine sound that has come up with one of the updates.
Right.
They need to fix it. That sounds unpleasant.
it's not Vlad stuck under the hood stealing the vodka out the radar, is it?
Yeah. He's had to hide himself in the nose gear. Yeah. And they also mentioned that they made some changes to the suspension and hydraulic system and flap operation. They apologise for surprising people with that, and they'll try to make sure that it's actually changes like this are in the changelog in future. So yeah, they've been making stealth updates, and people have not known what's going on.
Oh dear!
I wonder what that is. I've not flown the MiG-21 recently, and I would like to, because I used to fly the MiG-21 a lot. It was a module that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, we used to fly it together a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good fun. I think at the time it was very good. It was very realistic for its time that it came out. Whereas I think now it's been superseded in realism by a lot of other modules. But
they have been updating it. They have been updating it, and actually, I feel its only weakness, and this is actually a weakness that it had from day one, is their depiction of the ASP gun sight. Because there is still a little bit of magic that goes on with that gun sight. In the real gun sight, you have to enter a lot of parameters to get any sensible information out of it. And sadly, they have made it somewhat magic in that certain things just work. And,
right. Yeah.
And in real life, you would have to actually adjust it. With the exception of that, I think it's really good. I really like the way they modeled the radar, and it was one of the earliest realistic implementations of a radar in a third-party module, and I think it was very well done. I love the texturing. I love the sound environment. All round, I think it's a very good module. I've not looked at it recently, but I know that the cockpit technology and the reflections and the glass were recently updated. So I suspect it probably still stands up.
Right, maybe worth going back and having a look. Kartoba in chat, who seems to be our inside man for Magnitude 3, is saying there's a story there. The flaps behavior in the game currently is unintended is an unintended result of them changing things in the background. The gun sight is indeed a bit simplified, but they tell me that will change one day.
They have made statements about this. Like, whenever people have raised the gun sight and the simplifications around it, Magnitude 3, in fairness, have always maintained the same point of view on that, and they've always said, we're going to come back around to it, and we will bring it up to standard. I want to make it clear, it's not broken, it's not bad. It's just that there are some slight strange things that it does automatically that it shouldn't. So it's by no means broken. It's still very, very good in my opinion. The SAU as well is not quite right. Yeah. So yeah, there's some small simplifications, but they're understandable because the reality of operating a MiG-21, or really any Soviet-era jet, is that it's an absolute pain in the buttocks, and is not ergonomic. It doesn't do anything to help you, and you have to do a lot of stuff manually.
Yeah. The Russians sort of followed, mostly because they got it from the British, but they followed the British sort of ergonomics design was, if you find a space, put it in it.
Yeah. Well, the button fits there, so that's where we're putting it.
Yeah. British cockpit ergonomics, right, even up until fairly recently, is nonsense.
Yeah. Well, even if you look at the Hawk, like even fairly modern versions of the Hawk are not amazingly well laid out.
Nonsense. The comedy one was the Buccaneer, which at one point requires you to basically, and during landing no less, requires you to effectively cross your arms.
But of course.
Speaking of Buccaneers, I had a really weird thing. I almost crashed the car the other night.
That's not good. Don't do that.
I was driving. I was coming home, and I live in deepest, darkest rural Fife, and I was driving up one of the roads into the town where I live, and there's like an old stables and coaching yard, and as I drove past, I was like, the fuck is that? And there was a Buccaneer sitting in the middle of the stable yard with its wings folded.
Wow.
And it was like, that wasn't there last week.
So someone's just bought a Buccaneer? Is that what you're telling me?
Somebody has just bought a Buccaneer near me. And it's like, cool, but why? I've got no idea where it came from. I don't know its heritage. I'm going to, next time I drive past, I'm going to see if I can catch a tail number and find out where it came from and what its backstory is. But yeah, it was sitting in the yard, wings folded. They had some scaffolding around it and bits and pieces. So I think they might be in the process of restoring it. But it's weird because it's a private residence, it's not like they've bought it to put on display as for something for people to come round, but it was just the most bizarre thing on a country road in Fife, Buccaneer.
And a Buccaneer is not a small thing.
No. I mean, it fairly fills it. Tech gaming for one hell of a drunk purchase.
Yes.
Oops. Bottle of Prosecco and eBay regrets,
Having to explain to the wife that I accidentally bid on a Buccaneer and won.
That's the aviation head's version of accidentally buying a Louis Vuitton bag on eBay.
Yeah.
I just bought a Buccaneer. Oh my god. But it definitely wasn't there a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know how they must have had it on a low loader, but it would have still taken up a lot of room because it doesn't look like they took anything off it or removed anything to get it there. It just looks like it's gone to the Scottish Deer Centre. Right, okay. Thank you. Right, Byron's on the ball. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, that makes a bit more sense as to why it was there, because that is a public venue. I didn't realize. Actually, yeah, coming to think about it, it would be the courtyard attached to the back end of the Scott. All right, okay, makes sense now.
There you go.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. So if it's open to the public, I'm going to go and have a look at it because I love the Buccaneer. It's in its crazy nonsense.
Please share some pictures.
I will do.
But yeah, I've seen the cockpit of a Buccaneer, and it's very silly.
Yeah. A really interesting blown flap system, though.
Well, yes, yeah, which the MiG-21 also has.
Yeah.
And yeah, Irish Pat 64 here saying, I always get a tire blowout anytime I try to land the MiG. Well, you see, the way you land a MiG-21 is entirely unlike the way you land just about anything else. You do not flare.
Fuck. Sorry.
Oh, have you had an eruption?
No.
Uh-huh.
I'm really arachnophobic.
oh, well, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so I just had a little friend drop in.
Deary me. So yeah, the MiG-21, you fly it down to the tarmac, and you do so with a very small amount of nose up and quite high speed. You just fly it into the ground. You do not flare it.
Mm. Yeah, you kind of have to fly it right onto the runway. Yeah.
Oh yes, and don't flare it because you'll hit the tail. And also you'll just stall it. It's like when you're in the landing configuration, the amount of angle of attack that you have available is very small. So you don't do that. It took me a while to get used to it. I might even, I think I even have a video. If you check out my channel, some of my earliest videos, I think some of them were on the MiG-21. So you might find something there.
So I've just done some Googling, and it has indeed. Iconic Buccaneer jet, which has been located in Elgin since 1996, has been moved to a new home in Fife.
Oh my.
It was sold to the Scottish Deer Centre near Cooper for £28,000.
That's not bad for a Buccaneer.
Yeah, and there's a picture on this website of it. It is indeed on a low loader with the wings folded up, like they just moved it like in total. It was a jet which saw action in the Gulf War.
Oh my!
And it was located near Lossiemouth for 25 years after being bought from the RAF by former owner Ian Aikenhead. It would be turned into a tourist attraction at the Scottish Deer Centre. So there you go. You can go and see a Buccaneer there.
Can I climb inside it?
Yes, with people set to be offered the chance to get inside the jet's cockpit.
That's pretty cool. Go. Yeah. One of my favourite ever aviation museums is here in Sweden, in Gothenburg. The Gothenburg Aviation Museum allows you to climb aboard and twiddle the knobs inside the cockpit of both a Draken and a Viggen. So isn't that nice?
Nice, yeah. The Buccaneer cockpit is quite interesting because it's tandem cockpit. But one of the things that I liked about it and I thought was quite clever was that the navigator is slightly offset. The pilot sits a little bit to the right, the navigator sits a little bit to the left behind each other, so he can look down and actually get a clear picture ahead for navigation. It's quite clever.
Does he have a set of controls?
I don't think so. I don't think it was a proper... it might have been, actually.
Because I've got no idea. I really don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think he did. Yeah.
Tech Gaming 45 just found a reason to go to Scotland. There are way more reasons than that. Have you never been to a distillery, my old son?
Yeah, the whiskey, the food, the history. Oh, man. Yeah, lots of reasons to go.
Yep. Go and see Edinburgh. It's nice.
Nails, I got a week away in Crail in the new year. Nice. Crail's nice. It's a very nice restaurant in Crail, actually.
Yeah.
Which the name just escapes me, but it's Michelin starred and lovely.
Crail is very nice. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, and of course there's the old airfield at Crail, which is now a racetrack. It was an old Coastal Command, or was it Fleet Air Arm? I can't remember.
I don't know. I've flown over it many, many times. I did my flight training there, Fife Airport, at wherever that place is.
I wanted to say Cumbernauld, but it's not fucking Cumbernauld because Cumbernaulds not even a fucking 5.
Yes, I've flown to Cumbernauld though. I've landed there.
That's where they made the Game of Thrones pilot at the studio next to the airfield. It's outside Glenrothes, kind of.
Yeah, it is actually Glenrothes. Yeah. So that's where Fife Airport is, Glenrothes. Thank you. I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that is, for this week at least.
Hail to Crail.
That's all the news we have.
Somebody's a Glory Hammer fan.
Oh dear. But we should, as always, give a shout out to the VAF. Because we're always looking for people to join the VAF. Actually, the number of people joining has been crazy recently. And we have more squadrons than ever. We can now meet most people's aviation needs, I think. Because, of course, we have 2 squadron flying the F-16. We have 3 squadron flying the Harrier. We have 25 squadron, I have to try and remember now, flying the A-10.
A-10.
We have 416 squadron flying the FA-18.
Or 16, 416.
416, okay. And we also have a Tomcat squadron. And they
142. They get the 142 because they're modeled after a US squadron. So.
Yes.
But technically it would be 146 if they followed the RAF convention. Yeah, and they're flying the F-14.
Yes. And on top of that, we also have people flying a variety of different types of helicopter. We normally have helicopters in our missions as well. So please join the VAF if you have any interest in flying with us, especially if you're in a time zone that makes that appropriate for you. We're tending to do training missions at 8 p.m. UK time on Tuesdays, and we're also doing our actual missions on Thursdays, also at 8 p.m. And we've just started doing Saturday missions as well, which is very exciting.
That's what I was going to bring up, because we've had quite a few people who sort of come from different time zones and want to fly with us, but during the week the timing doesn't quite work because it's either in the morning for them or it's very, very late at night. So what we've done is the Saturday mission, which is still a bit later on in the day, but it does mean that you might stand a chance of being able to join it because it's the weekend and you might not be working. So
yes. Very much so. And actually, we're having our very first Saturday mission night tonight, and it starts in about 8 minutes. So you might be a bit late for joining it this time.
Tech Gaming 45, the backseater in the Buccaneer was radar and weapons. He was indeed radar and weapons, but in the RAF he was also the navigator and was known as a navigator. And that was his responsibility. Navigators in the RAF are, they kind of do everything. Yeah, mostly tell Peter Pilot where to go and abuse him.
And Rel asking, what's the server name? Well, Rel, it's only for members of the VAF, so go ahead and join the Discord so you can actually speak to somebody and talk about joining in on the mission. We're not looking for just random people to jump into our mission nights. It's for members of the VAF. Because that'd be very hard. Can you imagine, like, if I just did a big shout out and said, right, everybody pile into this server? It would be mayhem.
And apparently the Buccaneer did have dual controls, according to Tech Gaming 45. There we go.
Fantastic.
So the navigator could indeed take the controls, but he was still a navigator.
Excellent. Oh, and they flew Hunters for training. Very exciting.
Yeah. That's a nice plane. Hunters.
Yes,
lovely cool. Hunters. Yeah.
So yeah, my little call to action there, please, if you have any interest. Well, if you just want to join the community and hang out with us and chat, very welcome just to join the Discord. You don't have to fly with us if you don't want to. But then we have these kind of 2 tiers of more active involvement where you can be a freelancer. You don't need to join any of the internal squadrons or do any training. You can fly whatever you want, whenever you want, join us in our sessions and so on. And then we have a kind of opt-in milsim style approach where you can join one of the numbered squadrons and fly with us in a more formal fashion, and there's actual training and ratings and so on, which is a bit of fun.
Yeah.
All are welcome. Please come and see us. Biological autopilot. Yes, exactly.
If people are interested in the Buccaneer, I can recommend a great book called Bucket Full of Sunshine, which is all about the RAF's Buccaneer force in Europe during the Cold War.
That sounds cool.
Very, very interesting book. Goes into a lot of detail about the operation of the Buccaneer and how they flew crazy low level in Western Europe and their role.
It's RAF during the Cold War. Everything they did was crazy.
Everything was crazy on low level.
I always think about, like, imagine if they took, like a Harrier pilot from the 70s and dropped them into the 2021 RAF and got them to fly an aircraft. How many violations would they create in the first day?
This is a piece of piss.
Yeah.
Iron Farrow also backing up, great book. Yeah, Bucket Full of Sunshine. I forget who wrote it now. But if you Google it, you'll find it. It's a very, very good book. It's also available on Audible.
Fantastic. But yeah, we don't really have any other news. That's kind of it for this week. I wonder, what do we think's coming for 2021? I guess one thing would be we're probably going to get some
biggie
newsletters. This is the biggie. It's not long now. Speaking of which, 3 weeks, just over 2 weeks, we should have the Apache.
In theory, yeah.
Which is pretty damn exciting, if you ask me. I know what the entire VAF is going to be doing day one.
Yeah, like the Apache. Yeah, that's going to be a big server hit.
All right, lads, pile in.
Pile in. Oh, here we go. What do I think's coming? I still think we're not going to see many modules out of ED. I think once the Apache's done, I think they are going to focus more on the core. That was supposed to be last year, the year just gone, 2021, and they kind of didn't really achieve it. So I would think, or rather I would hope, that they'll redouble their efforts on that to bring us features like Vulkan and multi-threading. Yeah, that's what I think's coming. I don't think we're gonna see Eurofire this year.
No. We're not going to see Eurofighter this year.
No. Yeah.
Which I'm very, very excited for. Like,
yes.
You know what? I'm so psyched for Typhoon that I'm even really excited just to see the startup video. Like, if I see the startup video, I'll be happy for a week.
Yeah. Generation Mars pretty much did whatever they wanted. Yeah, Cartoba commenting on guns. Yeah, it's very true. Byron Farrow, they should, and I'm guessing he's referencing concentrate the core, but modules equals money. Yes, true. Yes, I agree. But the thing is they have quite a lot of tools at their disposal in the form of some very, very good third-party developers, and I really think they should be leveraging their third-party developers to make modules, because they're going to take their 30% off the top or whatever it is for doing effectively nothing.
Yeah.
Integrating it into their platform. Okay, it's not nothing. There's going to be some work involved, but it's going to be a lot less a lot less work than actually developing from scratch. So, like, I agree, modules equals money. You're completely right. But I think they should be just leveraging their third parties to produce these modules, because if they don't, like I've said all along, if they don't get their core sorted, people are going to stop developing modules, because it's the core of DCS is going to stop working.
That's true. And Mr. Yeti saying Falklands will come out in April to coincide with the Falklands War's 40th anniversary. That's interesting. I wonder if they are planning to do that.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? I think it might be right, because what we've seen of the Falklands map, it's looking pretty finished. The only thing that makes me think that maybe April might be a bit soon is that because they've expanded it.
Yes.
To add more of the sort of mainland. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would be great timing. I mean, that would be a marketing coup, if they managed it.
Yeah, here's hoping. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of assets as well that's going to go along with the Falklands. I mean, I know they've got like a lot of naval assets that I don't think are ready. So I think April might be a bit soon. Like, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just waving at people who've messaged me. F-15E, hopefully soon, says Paul Dillon. Let me... I'm going to change my position here very, very slightly.
Really?
I am.
Okay.
Not based
Interesting.
on... but not based on anything, to be honest. It's more about my approach. I'm really psyched for the F-15E. I want it to come out, and I want it to come out soon. That'd be great. I don't think it will. I think if it does come into early access this year, which I seriously doubt, I can't see how it would, but if it does come into early access this year, I fear it'll be horribly incomplete, given... And I am a big Razbam fanboy, so I don't want to give Razbam too hard a time, because I love their modules. Their modules are brilliant, but they do have a reputation, rightly or wrongly, for delivering stuff in a rather incomplete state. And like, I'm in two minds. I would love to get my hands on the Strike Eagle. I think that Razbam are going to, in the end, do a great job, but I worry about the day one experience.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I've been quite vocal about my opinion on the F-15. I think you're right that it'll be broken day one. It'll be badly, badly broken, and then it will end. It will go on to be brilliant.
Yes,
which is what we've seen from a lot of Razbam modules. That, like, the day one experience is pretty poor, but they graft and they work hard and they improve. That's one of the great things about Razbam. Anything you say about them, you cannot say that they don't work and at their modules, because they do, and they produce things that ultimately end up being brilliant.
Yes,
I still don't think we're going to see it this year.
No,
I really don't.
In some ways, I hope it doesn't come this year, because I fear that whatever they delivered this year would not be ready. But yeah, I'm really psyched for the Strike Eagle. I think that'd be really cool.
I think I still think it's a poor move to not have some kind of AI in it.
Yes.
Or not get people to make AI, because I think it'll just I think it'll be a disappointing experience without some kind of AI. And I think the first question that people will ask in the forum is, can I fly from the back seat and have like the sim fly it for me and I can do the stuff from the back seat? And the answer will be no. And people will go, well, that's a bit shit. And then there'll be a huge bun fight on the forums about it, and everybody will go, we told you.
Well, see, what you have to do is you have to make a friend, make them buy it, and then then you can play it.
No, totally. Like the F-15, if you've got a mate that is interested in the F-15 that wants to sit in the back, in multiplayer is going to be a hoot. It'll be a total riot. But just not a lot of us play multiplayer, and not a lot of us have friends. So
that's I guess. I'm trying to remember now. There was there was a classic bit of gun camera footage where you heard the intercom in a tornado, and it's the pilot, it's the front seater speaking to the guy in the back, and he says something like, "If you make this one, Dave, then I'll be buying you something in the bar tonight." I can't remember what it was exactly, but it's a classic one, and it's really funny. There's like Tia Maria. It was a really odd choice. I'm not really sure what it was, but yeah, it was something.
Well, I mean, RAF is famous for its strange drinks, so
yeah, he was gonna buy him something really odd in the bar,
and drinking out of strange things and. Burning pianos. It's a weird culture. If you ever spend any time on the inside of it, it's very odd.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I want to fly the F-15. I remember my days playing Jane's F-15 Strike Eagle very fondly. Switching between the front and the back seat with an AI back in the
I
late
know.
90s, I guess it
the
was.
90s, I know. They could do it in the 90s. Yeah.
Or was it the early... I don't remember. Maybe it was the early 2000s. I don't really remember.
No, that was the 90s. That was very much 90s. I mean, and the thing is there was a lot of Strike Eagle games. I remember going back to the first Strike Eagle game on the Amiga. Which would have been, early 90s, I think. Yeah.
Mr. Yeti was about... Look, Disaronno on the Rocks is the current
Disaronno
fave.
on the Rocks is the current fave. Oh,
I have to say, I'm a big fan.
They've evolved a bit.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Disaronno. I should have joined the RAF. I would have loved the drinking. Maybe not the quantities, but the drinks selected. I think
it gets out of hand, man. It gets really out of hand.
A Disaronno and Coke, I could really go for. That'd be very nice.
Yeah. That's a Godfather, isn't it?
Disaronno.
Disaronno and Coke, I think, is a Godfather in cocktails. Yeah.
I don't know. I just asked for Disaronno and Coke. It's good stuff. But yes, hoping for the F-15.
See again, this could be pretty much operate the function of the backseat the FCP can't perform, to be fair. See, do we have to do this again?
Don't get angry. It's okay. It's all right. Just breathe.
I know. Yeah, but try doing it at 50 feet off the deck at 550 knots.
This is the thing. Like, if you have, if you don't mind using active pause and playing single player, then yes. But
totally.
In a live, evolving multiplayer environment, you're not going to get away with that. It's not gonna work.
And in the real world, as well, pilots a bit fucking busy.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Gosh, people appear to be shooting at us. Perhaps I should do something.
You in the back handle the weapons. That's your fucking job. That's why we've spent $1.5 million training you.
I'm going to try and make sure we don't die. Oh dear.
Again, DCS World War II stuff from Tog. Yes, I think that is very likely. Nick Gray trying to turn DCS into IL-2.
Vicar Gray going at it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude, we know you're all about the World War II, but that's not.
Strength and loyalty and justice. Deep voice. Speak slowly.
It's an F-15E, not a buck. You'll be at around 1,500 feet. Yes, if you're bombing insurgents, but if we ever went toe-to-toe with a near peer, no, you wouldn't.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's the ways that you operate these machines, depending upon the foe that you're up against. It's so different. They have to train so differently. Thank you very much, Irish Pat 64. That's very, very kind of you, sir. Yeah. I salute you.
Yeah. Razbam may surprise everyone with the brilliant AI co-pilot. It would be a big surprise. It would be a big surprise. Razbam surprising anybody day one with anything brilliant would be a big surprise.
I'm gonna call absolutely impossible, because the reality is your Razbam's development team is 2 people. And given everything else they have to do to deliver that module, there is no danger that having never done it before, they're suddenly going to develop an AI. It's not going to happen.
And this is it. I mean, people forget they're a 2-man team.
Yeah, and it's amazing what they deliver, given there's 2 guys. Well, two guys doing the development.
It's amazing they deliver anything, so I mean, we can understand why things on day one is a little bit iffy, but like I've said, Razbam, they work bloody hard. Once something is put out, they really make sure that it comes up to scratch. Sometimes it takes them a long time. I mean, the time from release to the time of Mirage being, an exceptional module. I mean, it's been a few years. But there's no doubt that they've produced a brilliant module.
They have.
It's they work really hard. So we have to cut them a bit of slack. But I mean, their day one performance hasn't been great. Bless them.
Car is actually
they put it right.
Carr is actually stating that our information is out of date, and that Razbam have hired a number of additional coders during the course of the year. I didn't know that, but I don't doubt that that's the case.
And I think they've needed to. Yes, like if there was one thing that Razbam could have done, it was hire more people, and I'm very glad to hear that they have.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because they have struggled to deliver sometimes in the past. So glad to hear it. Glad to hear that they've got more bums on seats helping them out with that stuff.
Yeah.
One of the new coders is actually posting on the Discord all the time and is responsible for the new Mirage 2000 radar modeling. The new Mirage 2000 stuff is looking.
He's
really
done a great job with that. That is excellent. Yeah.
It's super good.
Should go back and revisit the Mirage, because it was my main gun for a while.
And your videos were the best on it.
Yeah, they've been superseded now. So they I took those videos down because I don't like the idea of leaving something out there that is out of date and that people will watch and then get frustrated because the information has changed. I think
I keep getting comments on my Harrier videos saying, "Oh, the Harrier's been updated. Does this video still work?" And I'm always like, "Yes. If it didn't, I would have taken it down." This is all still fine. Yeah. You can still follow this video.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing, is that like whilst I might slate them for their day one performance, like they don't what Razbam don't do is abandon something. They don't just go, there you go, that's it, see you later, have fun, bye. Yeah.
Their development tail is very, very long.
Yeah, which is great, which is brilliant. I think that's how all developers should be. And Razbam definitely exemplify that. So I've no doubt that what we get, with the F-15 day one is going to be a bit, oof, okay, guys, but like come back to it a year later, it'll be a monster. It'll be really good. And like you, I'm excited because I've got fond memories of Strike Fighter, of Strike Eagle, Jane's, I think it wasn't it?
That's right. Yes.
Published by Micro Prose. Yeah. I played the first one back on the Amiga, and the second and the third. I think I've got the box for the third one sitting back there. So, that's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Very much so. Byron saying that he follows my Harrier videos. Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. I think, speaking, personally, I think my videos are quite good on the Harrier, but I would also don't take my word for it.
They're all right.
Yeah, but also check out T-Cypher. T-Cypher, very small, kind of not well-known channel. His stuff is excellent, really, really, really good. So watch T-Cypher as well. He's well worth a look. I don't know, when it comes to the Harrier, I wouldn't really recommend anybody else. If you want to learn the Harrier, watch my videos and watch T-Cypher. We're the only two that do it justice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm about to come back to the Harrier, actually. And
yes, indeed.
Yeah. It's I've had a couple of flights in it again for the first time in probably 2 years. And yeah, all right, I can fly it.
Yeah.
My hover is bad. I don't know if it's that my skills have eroded in the Harrier or if they made the flight model more realistic, because PIO is very real in the Harrier in hover.
Yes, the flight model has been dramatically adjusted and made supposedly much more realistic. So yes, it was too easy before, and it's a little bit more difficult now.
Yeah, I mean, I was absolutely fine. I did a perfectly fine fixed nozzle approach. Landed it on the numbers. It was basically a rolling vertical. Did that absolutely fine, but the second I got into anything that was pure hover, it was like, oh boy, okay, now we're into pilot-induced oscillation.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's very easily done. They've also more realistically simulated the engine and the power you get in different regimes. And And some people then complain, oh, it's been nerfed and oh, you can't hover now, which is nonsense. I hover all the time. But the reality is that you now can't hover it in unrealistic ways. So like with a full combat load and full internal fuel and so on and so forth, there's no danger. But yes, it's doable.
Yeah. So Tog's saying, imagine Jane's making modules for DCS. Well, they kind of effectively do.
Well, we've got WAGs.
We've got WAGs, because WAGs was Jane's and Microprose. He was, in fact, wasn't he on Strike Eagle?
I don't know. I don't know if he was. I feel like he must have been, but I don't know.
Yeah, like, because he was on. I'm desperately trying to remember what modules he did.
Was he on Longbow?
You think so? Wagner.
We're both doing the same web searches just now.
We're googling. Of course, you get a comic book artist who has the like, he must have a LinkedIn page.
Anyway, I'm not going to find that before anyway, he bought them.
Yeah, he was. He did quite a few. Jane's titles. He was producer on that before he went to Eagle Dynamics. Yeah.
Super duper. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to the Apache. I'm looking forward to whatever further updates we get on the Harrier. I'm looking forward to dynamic weather. I'm looking forward to whatever they end up doing with the ATC and the Super Carrier. There's still a lot of good stuff coming. Even though we're almost certainly not getting an F-15 or a Typhoon this year, we are getting a lot of stuff. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get the cruise page for the F-16. Maybe.
God.
That's my personal crusade.
Yeah, if we get the F-15, if it comes this year, it'll be right at the end of it.
Yeah,
like it'll be bang at the end of it. F4, that would be nice. That would be a nice surprise, but I don't think it's going to happen this year either.
Perhaps not.
As in the F4E, not the Corsair.
Yeah. So many F4s these days.
Yeah, I'll be all over that like a sweaty rash. That's going to be fun. I don't think if there's anything else that I'm excited that potentially might come this year.
Whatever else they add to the F-16 is going to be fantastic. Like the day that BMS, Falcon 4 BMS becomes an irrelevance, and we can bring everybody across from Falcon 4 into DCS. That's going to be a good day, I think, because the Falcon 4 BMS community is still very, very active. And I'm not saying this out of some kind of competitiveness. I don't want Falcon 4 BMS to be destroyed or something like that.
No.
But I think if we can create something that's good enough to satisfy those people, because their expectations are very high, and quite rightly so, Falcon 4 BMS, the avionics simulation in that is unparalleled. It's absolutely amazing. If we can deliver something similar in DCS and we can all play together, that's good for everyone.
I think we're getting close. Like, I think we will see that. Like, I think we will see it. I mean, I think the thing that will hold the BMS community switching is the campaign engine. Would need that. Just start looking at some chat stuff. Irish Pat saying, I fear Apache might be hampered by underdeveloped AI. I agree. I think that's going to be the case. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the level that they've managed to get Petrovich to in the Hind is fine for the Hind because of the way that the pilot and the gunner interact in the Hind. But I think it's not going to be good enough for the Apache because there's much more dynamic between the pilot and the gunner in the Apache.
Yes.
And I don't think it's going to be ready. F1 and MB339 are the only things I know for almost certain is coming this year. F1, really excited for the F1. That's awesome. MB339, that's another cool little jet. Tog saying, wasn't there a high fidelity MiG-29 being worked on? Yes, there is. Don't know if we'll see it this year.
Eagle are working on a 9-12.
Yeah.
We haven't seen very much of it at all, so I don't know what stage that's at. And keep in mind that Eagle still have at least part of a team working on the Hornet, and most of a team working on the F-16, and a team working on the Apache. So they probably don't really have the people to spare to work on that. They also probably still have people working on the Black Shark as well, and we don't really know what's going to happen with that. So, yeah.
I think by now that's a model update. I think
really, that's all it is.
Yeah. The way Black Shark 3's gone down with the Russian government squashing that.
By the way, Matt Wagner worked on the F-15 and F-18 modules for Janes.
Thought it was. Yeah.
I don't think he worked on the Longbow.
Yeah. Clartoba saying MiG-29 will be a couple of years away, probably. Yeah.
Could be right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like, I mean,
they have so much that they're already working on. So, like,
yeah.
you know.
If I was going to put money down on a quarter, I'd probably say Q3 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to put money on something, as in you being able to get your hands on that. Yeah.
And exactly as Carr says, this is kind of the point I was making. We've seen none of it. MiG-29 in the recent trailer, it's still the FC3 model. Yeah, we haven't seen any of it. Really, really cool, though. It would be cool to see a properly detailed simulation of a MiG-29, because we've really never seen that. Yeah.
But, back when FC3 was the only kid on the block, I pretty much exclusively flew the T-Toad and the MiG-29.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah.
MiG-29 mostly.
Yeah.
It's a really, really fun aircraft.
Eurofighter 2000. Not this year. I'd be very surprised.
No. We've seen nothing of it. People point out the trailer. The trailer, as far as I'm concerned, is entirely out of sim, pre-rendered, not in engine stuff. That's a cinematic. It has nothing to do with the module. It's really good, but it's got nothing to do with the module.
Yeah. I mean, there was no... I mean, you read the stuff that sort of True Grit have said. True Grit started developing it, quickly realized they were out their depth, but being a bunch of smart cookies, because they're fighter pilots, went and got people who knew what they were doing. And I get the feeling a lot of that stuff is started again, because I'm sure Heatblur have their own systems and their own tools that they use to develop this stuff.
They will do.
So I would imagine they're going to take all that systems knowledge and bring it into their tools. But that only happened relatively recently. I mean, the news breaking on this, we talked about this, and I think it was in the early autumn. So I feel
like it was like November or something. Like, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
This is all very recent.
Yeah. So I think it's a while away.
Yeah. We're not going to see anything on that for a while. I'm even just excited to see more of their cinematics, because they're so good at making them. So that would be fun.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a pre-purchase this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I think that Gaming 45 saying I think they're redoing the mesh as well. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because their modelers are excellent. They'll want to bring some love into that.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if there was a pre-purchase towards the end of this year where you could put some money down and, at some point in the future, get a Eurofighter in return. I think I could see that happening this year. I'd say that might be happening. But like an open beta version, not this year. Not this year. But I think we'll see a lot of cool stuff this year about it. Like this is going to be a biggie. This is going to be a biggie for Heatblur. Arguably, it might be bigger than the F-14.
Possibly.
Yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the F-14 is amazing, and it's Top Gun and all that kind of stuff, but like, I think the Eurofighter, it's current, it's in service, like, yeah, like
Channel
I
Right
think it
wants
could
a
be
Gripen.
big. I'd love a Gripen.
I want a Gripen.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when we were talking about what the next in the summer, when we were talking about what the next Heatblur module was, we thought it was a Gripen, like it was going to be a Gripen.
We were
convinced it was going to be a Gripen.
I'm going to rewrite history, and I'm going to tell you all what happened with absolutely no evidence. Heatblur were going to make a Gripen, but then True Grit came along and made them a good offer, and they were like, "Oh, we have to change our plans."
Do you know what I think? I think that is actually what happened. Like, no, genuinely, I think that's what happened.
I'm just making shit up. I'm just making up what I want to happen.
No. But I think you are right. Because they were teasing a module, and they were teasing, the era it was going to be in, and all that kind of stuff, long before True Grit handed over to even before True Grit came out the gate and said we're working on a Eurofighter.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
So I reckon you're probably not far off the mark, that they were working on something, and then they got approached and said, "Hey, we can bring the Eurofighter, and we've got licenses." And they went, "Well, fuck that."
Obviously, we're going to make a Eurofighter. Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to make a Eurofighter.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, a GR1. Yes, I'd sell my house for that. Fuck.
A GR1. Delicious.
It sits there over my shoulder. Where is it? There we go.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, always.
There it is.
Yeah. my copy of Tornado for the Amiga.
Oh, yeah. It's a quality sim, that one. Excellent.
Funnily enough, it's one of the sims that served as an inspiration, according to Wagner, for the A10. For his development, they wanted one of the things in their mood wall was Tornado, DI's Tornado.
And especially like early versions of their mission editor, you can see the inspiration.
Yeah. But interestingly, there's God, I could do a whole episode on that game.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I should, because interestingly, it started out life as the Jaguar attack trainer for the RAF. It was developed to train Jaguar pilots to use the Navwas and laser guided bombing when they brought that into the Jaguar. And I forget the guy's name. He was one of the Jaguar pilots brought in DI to develop it, and DI said, "Fine, we'll do this if we can release it as a product." And that's how it got worked out. And I think it was the first time in...
It was the first desktop simulator.
Yeah, it was the first time a computer games company had manufactured something for the military, because it predated Marine Doom or whatever it was that the US Army did.
Yeah.
So it's got a really interesting history.
Paul Dillon asking about the Kiowa. We seem to get this question every single stream.
I know.
Development has restarted. It was slowed down because of illness. That is now apparently resolved, and they're getting back up to speed, but no further updates as of yet. They'll speak about it publicly when they have something to speak about. But it's coming. It is coming.
Yeah, and it promises to be something a bit special, because I think they've really worked hard with their subject matter experts on it.
Yes. But even to the degree that I think the subject matter experts are sometimes holding them back and saying, no, that's not right. You're going to do that again.
I think that, I think that's exactly what's happened, because I know that it was supposed to get released this year, last year, and they went, no, it's not ready. We're pulling it back, and we're going to put some more stuff in. And I think that came from SME feedback. Yeah. So, yeah.
Which, I again say hats off to them. I think they're doing exactly the right thing. So I wish them all the best.
Yeah, but at some point I'd like to fly it, because I'm a big fan of it.
It looks really nice. It looks really nice.
Especially twinned with the Apache. So
yeah, very much so. Cool. Do we have anything else, sir?
I don't think so. I think chat. I think chat has thrown everything that they're going to throw at us. I mean, in terms of stuff I'm excited for this year, I think I've pretty much covered all the stuff for DCS. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'm excited for in other flight sim news, which we don't really cover. But I mean, fuck it, I'll say it anyway. PMDG. Coming out with their 737. That's going to be fantastic for this year. That's going to be really good fun. I'm excited for the BAE 146 because it's an aircraft we saw around our skies in the UK all the time. And it was pretty cool and pretty ahead of its time, actually, when it came out.
I think the only thing that killed that aircraft was the 4 engines. If they'd ever had a twin-engine version, it would still be flying, I think.
Well, they did. They kind of did have one on the drawing board, but there was a lot of business stuff. Marcus, you have to go till the champagne bottles are empty. Well, mine's kind of getting there.
Mine's kind of full, so I think I would die.
Yeah, there was a 2-engine version of it on the drawing board. I don't think it ever came to light. But I mean, it was pretty revolutionary for its time.
I like the fact that pretty much all the switches in the overhead were just light switches. They were just like old school British light switches.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it had phenomenal short field performance for a jet.
Well, for a time, it was one of the few aircraft that flew in and out of London City.
Yeah, and it carried a remarkably large payload for its performance, like in terms of short field. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited for that. What else? Phoenix Simulation A320. That's I mean, the level of detail there. I think you just killed your camera.
Did I?
Yeah. You've just gone to OBS for me.
Oh no. What have I done? Actually, I know what I've done. I turned off the virtual camera, which is how you're seeing
There we go.
me. Right, sorry about that.
There we go.
That didn't affect stream, that only affected Chuck.
Only affected me. All right, okay. Yeah, the level of... I would say that the level of systems modeling that those guys are going into with the A320... actually exceed what ED does. Like, it's I mean, you go watch Phoenix, Fenix. You go watch their videos on YouTube about the level of systems modeling that they've gone into. It's absolutely crazy, and I think it actually, it exceeds what ED is doing. So
it does look really good. I've watched a few of their videos, and I'm also excited for that.
Yeah. I mean, like there was one story they were telling about, which was like they were looking at duct pressure and temperature in the PAX system, like, and it's all simulated. And it was like, well, it's not on the numbers. Why is it not on the numbers? And then eventually they found is because there's this little water spray at the end of the duct. That they hadn't modeled properly. And it meant that nothing was working. But their system was so accurate and so accurately modeled that the emission of just this little water droplet spray meant that it stopped working.
The numbers were all wrong.
And then when they put that in, it's just, man, it's crazy. So, I'm excited for that. What else am I excited for that isn't DCS? There is a Stargate tactical combat game coming out.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, based on SG-1.
Okay.
And the name of it escapes me, but it's on Steam and it looks really cool. So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Very well, sir. I'm mostly excited for DCS stuff. I don't do anything else. I play Tarkov and I play DCS, and that's just about it.
There must be some stuff coming in Tarkov that you're excited about.
Well, the thing is, we just had the big update for Tarkov, so like all the things I was excited for are in now. So we now have VoIP. We can now scream obscenities at each other. We now have...
So you can shout, Suka!
Suka! Bliat! Yes. We can do all of that. It's super good. And like the way that players are interacting with each other now in the game is really funny, because you know people are surrendering, people are asking for passage through areas without having a gunfight, people are taunting each other. Like there's all these kind of extra interactions that couldn't happen without VoIP, and it's amazing. I've been shot up by people and then begged them for medical attention and gotten it.
Wow.
People have actually felt sorry. I'm like standing there bleeding to death, and people have felt sorry for me and you know, thrown me some medical gear. It's like, okay, you can go.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'd still rather get kicked in the nuts than play Tarkov, but
well, yeah, there are more ways to play it now because you can actually communicate with other people, which is nice. And yes, DFAC plays Alien Isolation. That will be coming very soon, so stay tuned.
Alien Isolation, that's a really good game. Kind of overstays its welcome. There was a bit about 2/3 of the way through where it's like that's where the game should have ended, but it's a really good game. Still a really good game.
I actually liked that because there were I counted sort of 2 or maybe even 3 places where the game could have ended. And I kind of liked that at each of those points, the game kicks you in the teeth and says, no, we're going to take a turn for the worse, everything's going to go wrong, and you have to build your way back up again.
That game is an absolute love letter to Ridley Scott's production design as well.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It just looks wonderful. Just looking at chat, Tog saying lots of Cold War games as well. Yes, absolutely. He's calling out Gunner Heat PC, which looks very promising. The Red Dragon style games, yes. So Eugen Systems are bringing out a new game, which the name escapes me, but it is a continuation of their war game series. Also, Microprose are bringing out Battalions. I forget the name of it, but it looks like their competitor to sort of war game, and it looks fantastic. It looks brilliant, actually. So yeah, there's a lot of good RTS stuff, Cold War RTS stuff coming. If you're into your Battlefront games and Slytherin, they've brought out, using their combat mission system, they've brought out Cold War, sort of 70s/80s fold a gap. Very, very complex. If you've ever played any of the if you've ever played any of their games, they did a Black Sea one recently, which is very good. Excellent tactical real-time strategy, or turn-based, depending on what system you set. It's very deep, very, very deep, but really good. It's the kind of real-time strategy equivalent, sort of tactical combat equivalent of Seamano or combat, or whatever it's called now. They've changed the name of it.
They have.
Yeah. But I would definitely call that. The new Eugen game is called Warno. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's coming soon as well, so that's going to be really good. So that's coming this year. Good to expand our horizons, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But I think DCS and running the VAF, that's going to continue to be my main thing. Yes. Alrighty. Well, I think that's probably everything.
I think so. Yeah.
He's been dotChuckles. I've been Deepak. Every Saturday, I post a new tutorial video, currently running a series on the FA-18C Hornet. Next week, it's going to be all about the azimuth and elevation radar page, which is quite unique in the Hornet. So even more radar stuff to learn. And if you want to be super cool, you obviously display the attack radar and the azimuth and elevation pages and the SA page all at the same time, and flip your cursor between the three, and you understand everything and you can do everything, and you know, you're some kind of center for all information. So yeah, I do that every Saturday. There's another one coming next week. And then immediately afterwards, we have the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now.
Yep.
You've all been wonderful. Thank you very much for watching.
Hang on a moment. One moment.
Oh no, he's going to do it.
Now we can finish.
Now we can finish. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see